Hello everyone, and welcome to our weather update on January 9th, 2024. So starting off with our short range forecast, there's a lot to get through, especially with the longer range. There's a lot of, there's a lot in play next week. A lot. So starting off with the more simple part of the forecasts, the 5-day forecast, which covers a period of quite dry weather and fair weather as well, relatively benign weather, apart from frost and fog. So tonight we will see mainly clear skies, apart from eastern coasts, where some clouds will drift in from the Irish Sea. So under clear skies, temperatures easily well below freezing, down towards like -5 in shelter in the West Midlands. And tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see a cloudier day in the east, with cloud moving in off the Irish Sea and from the UK on these easterly winds. If the chart will load, there we go. And also some showers will threaten eastern coasts by afternoon and evening. These mainly have rain as the coldest of the air drifts away. And I can confirm that last night's wintry showers, a mix of sleet, snow and growlpour. Growlpour, if you don't know, is a mix of hail and snow. Did come to the east coast. I saw hail, sleet, and growlpour. A nice wintry sleet, snow, and growlpour. Even a big wintry mess of showers, but it was cold enough for snow in some areas of southeast. That's what I know. So there we go. That came off. So, and I'm pleased about that. I'm pleased. My first falling snow of the season. So and let's hope that that wasn't the last snow that I'll see. So looking towards Wednesday night and Thursday morning, so we see mostly cloudy skies over most areas of Ireland, and into Thursday we see cloudier skies in the east and north, and then also, but in the southwest it will be mainly dry and sunny. Into Thursday and Friday, we see again another cloudy start, though fog will form, especially in the North Midlands, and also you'll notice that it's clearer there, and therefore it'll be very cold and frosty to start there. Into Friday and Saturday, we see over Scotland a band of rain going southwards, and that is a cold front, everyone. By Saturday morning, it's moving into Northern Ireland and Northern England, and into Sunday, January 14th, it's clearing the south coast, and just to our north, over Scotland, showers are turning to snow. The temperature forecast from the UKV is like this. So tonight, at lowest temperatures under the mostly clear skies, especially in the west, down to about -5 to freezing. Along the east coast, a bit less cold, with temperatures hovering just above freezing. Into tomorrow, then we see highest temperatures tomorrow, a tad less cold, around 3 in the west up to around 6 in the east. Tomorrow night will be pretty much frost free for most areas, with lowest temperatures around freezing in the South Midlands, Southwest and Northwest, up to around 3 or 4 in the North Midlands, Northeast and East. Into Thursday, we see again temperatures a bit less cold again, about a 5 in the west, up to about 7 in the east, and then into Friday morning. As I said, clear skies in the north will allow for a very cold night. Temperatures between freezing and -5 degrees, with frost and fog. Elsewhere, less cold than that. Into Friday itself, Friday is colder now. High temperatures of 2 where fog lingers, up to around 6 in the extreme southeast. Into Saturday morning then, lowest temperatures of a cold -5 to freezing. Again, a bit less cold in the far north this time. Saturday is a very cold day. Highest temperatures of 1 or freezing in the southeast Midlands, up to around 6 again in the far north. Sunday morning starts cold and frosty for the south, before we see less cold air come in with a cold front. On the cold front, the air will be less cold. However, behind it comes a bitterly cold Arctic air mass. Here is the any next observed and forecasted. So we're currently, as I said, as we know, very negative with the NAO. It will stay negative and then rise into the second half of January, possibly going positive around January 20th. And that is when most models are showing us breaking out of the cold spell. That is possibly coming up. And recently, it's been getting a lot more interesting, but a lot more dangerous, and you'll see why now. So here is this chart from the GFS 12 says we have high pressure centered towards Scotland and Shetland Isles, etc. And in is coming a cold easterly winds. That was cold enough to bring wintry showers, mainly of graupel of snow last night, to the east and southeast, or the south and southeast, should I say, into tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. The high pressure, in earlier updates, it looked as though the high pressure would center for the whole period of like Wednesday to Saturday to our north, and therefore we'd maintain a cloudy flow from the northeast that actually goes all the way around and ends up actually coming from the Atlantic. But if the high becomes more centrally located, then it'll be more foggy and more frosty, as that increases the chance of skies clearing, and therefore a colder option. Notice Friday and Saturday are now very cold days. That used to not be the case on our updates. Now, into, at least they're cold days from a surface temperature perspective. Notice the upper temperatures are not cold. That is a classic inversion. So going forward then, into the weekend, we see the high pressure going into retrograde up towards Greenland, and down comes a cold northerly wind. It tries to get cold. Upper temperatures by Monday, January 15th are getting cold, yes, but there is a disturbance there. The ridge kind of weakens, and we see a cold ridge over us by January 16th. It's cold. It is, yes, that is cold, but not as cold as it would be with a true bitter Arctic northerly. Notice that to our south we have a low gearing up. This pushes upwards and tries to get rid of the cold air by Wednesday, January 17th at 6 p.m. You can see that most of Ireland is within milder air. This, everyone, this is how it could all go wrong. And I would not be surprised if it happens like this. As early as Wednesday, we see a low coming up from the south and ruining everything and giving us miles. That is typical Irish weather. Beyond that, we see another low coming in, and we are then into like a stormy pattern. Oh dear. But blocking forms again towards Greenland, Iceland by Saturday, January 21st. We try to get cold, but not really. A bit chilly at the very least there, but still the low pressures from the west and southwest are the driving factor beyond Wednesday, and it's just miserable. Here is the ECMWF. The GFS now, I must tell you, is the mildest run. Right, so here's the ECMWF. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we have the high to our north, bringing in the chilly easterly winds. But Thursday and Friday, it's trying to come down over us. So Friday and Saturday are colder days in general, with frostier nights, with fog as well. Into the weekend, we see the high pressure getting towards Greenland. Then comes northerly by Monday, January 15th. We're into the cold air by then. So that is cold. But Tuesday, January 16th, here's what's happening. A block over Greenland, a deep trough over Scandinavia. That is putting down very cold air into the Northern Sea. Brutally cold, that would be towards Scandinavia. Notice this low to our southwest that will be trying to bump up against the cold air. Upper temperatures are chilly but not overly cold. By Wednesday, January 17th, that low that was here zips this direction, and we stay cold. Maybe with some wintriness in the far south, but I say most countries probably stay dry with that. But look at that, the cold air stays. By Thursday, January 18th, here's how we're looking. Again, blocked to our north over Greenland, to our northeast, again, the big cold trough towards Scandinavia. But notice this low looks a bit deep. Upper temperatures on Thursday, January 18th are cold. By Friday, January 19th, this low that was here on Thursday moves to be centered between Dublin and like Wales on Friday at midday. Now, upper temperatures are interesting. I'll zoom in. In this scenario, if you're in the yellow, that's in the far southeast corner. That includes me, by the way. It will only rain. Like, it doesn't matter what the temperature is on the surface. It will always rain if you're in this yellow shade, the 0 Celsius isotherm at 850 HPA. It will always rain. It possibly freezing rain if the temperature is below freezing on the surface, but it will always be rain falling out the sky. And then anywhere else can see snow if the parameters are correct. Dew point, etc., etc., etc. Temperature. So that is on a knife edge, but it is 10 days away. But interesting ECM, I think. UK Met run is looking at this. So here we go again. So again, same thing with the UK Met. By Friday and the weekend, Saturday anyway, the high pressure is centrally located, and therefore it's frosty and cold with fog. Into next week, early next week, we see a northerly, quite good one on Monday actually, with the upper temperatures going very cold. Before on Tuesday, we see the high pressure sort of weakening to our south. We're still chilly, but less so. I think that it would probably stay cold though if we could go forward. Here is the GEM, the GEM. Here's a GEM run. GEM again, similar story. Easterly winds tomorrow and Thursday. Quite cloudy with them, especially in the east on Thursday. And then on Friday and Saturday, in comes the ridge from the north, and that brings a lot of cold and frosty weather. Frosty, that is under clear skies. If it's cloudy, it should be frost-free. Into the weekend, again, the high pressure goes towards Greenland, and then it's colder as well. Gem. You are sort of you're almost there with snow, but you're not exactly there. So the low pressure sits right over us. It's in chilly air, yeah, but it's not properly cold until beyond like Wednesday and Thursday. So that's in between the ECM and the GFS. Here's the icon run. Here's the icon. Very interesting, isn't it? But it's, oh my god, there's so many risks. There are so many things that could go wrong, and very easily so. This is painful. So here is the icon. So again, the high pressure is coming down over us into the end of the week, and over the weekend it moves towards Greenland. Down comes northerly winds. What happens next? Northerly sustains itself, so that looks properly cold. With the lows again a bit further south. The icon is the coldest run tonight, I think. And here is the arpege. Here's the arpege. Go. There we go. So the arpege again. High pressure. Tomorrow will bring cloud to the east. Sunshine in the west. Highest temperatures of about 47 degrees. Coolest in the west. Into Thursday, the high pressure sinks down over us, and therefore it gets a bit cloudier and so on. Highest temperatures of about 4 to 8 degrees. Into the weekend, then the high pressure goes towards Greenland, and down comes probably a northerly wind in the end. Upper temperatures by Sunday are actually quite mild. Now that low is quite far north. That's my concern. So GFS mild, ECM cold, possibly wintry. UK Met run cold. GEM not. It's a bit tentative. Icon cold, and arpege don't know yet. It doesn't get to the time frame. So that's much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, and bye for now.